Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Chainlink, and we're going to be discussing fairly systematically, is a $100 link possible in 2021? If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We're gonna go on a bit of a journey. Okay, we're gonna go through a lot of charts. With Link, I like to do a fairly systematic update every 2 weeks or so. So this is that update. I hope you guys enjoy it. Definitely subscribe and turn on your notifications. Let's go ahead and jump in. So our first chart is our Link USD risk chart. Okay, so if you're not familiar with this, it just shows the price of Link on a logarithmic scale, color-coded by the risk metric. And the risk metric simply goes from 0 to 1, and it tries to help us identify when things are too overheated and when things are fairly calm. And this is against USD, not Bitcoin. So we have 3 key phases where it's been very overheated. We had our summer bubble last summer. It was a great time. We followed Link from $1 to $2 fairly early on, and then watched it go up to $20, taking some profits, right, if things get too overheated, but also recognizing that Link will still likely trend up for the duration of the market cycle. And to some degree, Link doesn't really follow the same rules as a lot of other cryptocurrencies, and the fact that it doesn't really behave in market cycles similar to how a lot of other cryptocurrencies do. For instance, I mean, in the bear market in 2019, which arguably early 2019 was fairly bullish for some cryptocurrencies, but Link put in a new all-time high compared to its 2018 bubble. So fairly substantial. Not a lot of coins can claim that their prior all-time high was overcome in 2019. Link is one of those coins, okay? And then you can see this was July 2019, and then one summer later, we moved up again. Basically, another order of magnitude almost. Not completely. This took us to $4, and this bubble here was about $20. But still, it's a fairly impressive move, and now we know we have gone up to, we've inched closer to that $40 mark, which would represent a complete 10x from the 2019 bubble. So from here, what do? Well, we take the risk out of it, or the color out of the risk metric, plot it on the secondary y-axis, recognize that there's key times when Link USD is very overheated. Can we get to a $100 Link this summer? Okay, can we get to it this fall? Can we get to it this winter? Well, one of the things we can look at is, well, we know that Link USD can make it to this risk level up here. It's made it to the 0.85 to 1 risk level 3 separate times. Where would that correspond today? So if the Link valuation against the US dollar went up to, say, 0.85, give or take, that would put us at around a modest $61 Link, okay? So we know that it's possible, just based on historical moves, that we could see something like that, and it wouldn't really be anything different, okay? So when I talk about this stuff, it's not financial advice. We know that cryptocurrencies could always head south, but when we're talking about what can realistically happen versus what are numbers that people just throw out there that there's no sort of evidence for, this is what I'm talking about, okay? Can we realistically go to 0.85 risk? Well, we can. We've done it 3 times. Where would that correspond to? Well, it would correspond to about $61. Can we go to 1.00 risk? Well, we've done it before. Could we do it again? Of course. What would that correspond to? Well, today it would correspond to a modest $89 Link. However, these fluctuate with time. So time is on our side. The longer it takes Link to move up, I do think the higher it can fly. And so I think this is some evidence right here that Link could go to $100 this year. That's not to say that it will necessarily do that. If crypto goes into a major bear market and Link gets dragged down with it, then yeah, it's going to sort of kick the can down the road. We also do know that Link is resilient and it can perform well even when the rest of the market is not performing well. Okay, so there's a lot of things. I think there's a lot of reasons to be bullish on Link, just from more, say, like a data science perspective. Okay, the risk metric is based on nothing more than price, time, and volatility, and so we sort of try to understand what is theoretically possible and what's not, and we use this risk metric to help identify this local top. Okay, and I'll use it again and again and again. I do not act in a way where I think this time is different. I always assume that everything is more or less the same thing. Therefore, I systematically move in and move out of the market when I feel like it makes sense to do so. So you can see down here, if we go up to 1.00 risk, today it would correspond to an $89 link. However, this number is increasing by $1 or $2 each and every week. So I think, as I said before, time is on our side. Now let's look at the Link Bitcoin risk metric, which arguably is more important than the Link USD risk metric, because I like how Link Bitcoin behaves. How the valuation of Link behaves against Bitcoin, I feel like is fairly impressive. There's so many systematic bubbles in here of Link against Bitcoin or of Bitcoin against Link. So depending on, if you want to use Link to increase your Bitcoin, you can do that. Or if you want to use Bitcoin to increase your Link, you can do that just by identifying some of these bubbles. And we hadn't been down to these Link Bitcoin risk levels since the summer of 2018. And if we take the color out of the risk and plot it on the secondary y-axis, we can see we're still in that range of some of the lows we've seen in the past in terms of the Link Bitcoin risk. Of course, Link USD is still relatively bullish, but we always said we don't know how Link will behave when Bitcoin's in a bull market. We know how it will behave when Bitcoin's in a bear market and in an accumulation phase, and Link did wonders against Bitcoin during that time. But we do not know how it will behave against Bitcoin in a bull market, and I always said I'm not sure if Link will be able to keep up against a bullish Bitcoin. It can certainly do well against other valuations of Bitcoin in terms of how bullish Bitcoin is, but this is a key example of, hey, we don't know what's going to happen, and this has been a Bitcoin bubble against Link, right? We've had several Link bubbles against Bitcoin. This is a Bitcoin bubble against Link. The last one we had was way over here, and then one back in 2017. So we've had these that go the other way, and we will systematically get those because we know that Bitcoin will steal the show sometimes. However, I do hope at some point we get back on track and can start putting bubbles in the other way, where Link is putting in a systematic bubble against the Bitcoin valuation. Okay, so we're back in this region where I do think that the Link Bitcoin valuation is fairly undervalued at the current time. Now, if you look at the overvaluation, what do you notice? Well, we've had 3 distinct bubbles against Bitcoin that all went to the 0.9 to 1 risk band. And by the way, if we went to the 1.00 risk band against Bitcoin at Bitcoin's current valuation, it would give us a $151 Link. Okay, now am I saying that Link will go there? No, I'm not. Also, this is contingent on what Bitcoin's valuation is, okay? Because at 1.00 risk, it would correspond to a 275,000 Satoshis for the Link valuation. And we also have to know what the Bitcoin valuation is, which currently we could say it's around 55K, 56K. This will put Link at $151 if you just multiply the Link Bitcoin valuation by the Bitcoin valuation. Okay? So, what does that mean though? Well, remember, this is dependent on Bitcoin's valuation. So if Bitcoin were to drop to $40,000, then this would obviously impact our multiple here, right? We might be multiplying 0.00275 by $40,000. Or if Bitcoin goes up in value, we might be multiplying it by $65,000. So this is one of those things where it's really hard to know. We sort of have to see it play out in real time, and then we can come to better understandings of what's going on. By the way, remember, if you guys like the risk metric stuff, check out the Altcoin season sale for the premium list. You can find a link to that in the description below. I think I'm going to stop it relatively soon. We had some issues with a lot of traffic on the website and people not being able to sign up. So I want to make sure those people can sign up. Make sure you guys check it out. You get access to the weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, the Into the Cryptoverse app with the risk levels, the weekly reports and videos, and more. So you get access to a whole lot of stuff, premium only live streams. Make sure you guys check it out. Also subscribe to the channel. Let's continue along. This shows our Link valuation when Bitcoin is above or below its 20-week moving average. And we know that Link does relatively well when Bitcoin's above the 20-week moving average, and Bitcoin has been above the 20-week moving average for quite a while now. And you can see that, as we said, we should say, not as we said, as the data said, right? We're just the interpreters of the data. As the data said, Link tends to go parabolic when Bitcoin's above the 20-week moving average, right? You see it here. A modest 10x or so. We see it again, a modest 10x or so. Here we got again a modest 10x or so, right? So we see this time and time again. And as long as Bitcoin stays above the 20-week, I think that Link will still do well. Now, There can be phases where we more or less move sideways or, you know, slowly move down, but the general trend is up, right? The general trend is up, and you cannot concern yourself, in my opinion, with the details. And as I said on this channel back over here, this was a key reaccumulation phase for the Link USD valuation. And we followed it over here. I said Link was too risky not to hold. It went to $15. And then we had a capitulation at one point down to $8. Everyone said, oh, but you said Link was too risky not to hold. Well, yeah, you're going to get capitulations. You're going to get price depreciation, right? That's going to happen. It's crypto. If you can't handle it, then, you know, get out, right? I mean, it's not going to get any easier, that's for sure. So be prepared for downside volatility if you want to be rewarded with the upside potential. The Link Bitcoin valuation, based on whether Bitcoin is above or below its 20-week moving average. Again, fairly systematic move up, no matter what Bitcoin's doing, except recently when Bitcoin got above its 20-week move, or when Bitcoin went into a bull market above its 20-week moving average, and things have sort of shifted a little bit. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. Are we going to put in a new trend? Is the Link Bitcoin valuation going to get back on track? Or are we systematically putting in something, you know, something new, which is fine if we do. Now, this is a chart I haven't shown in a while. This shows the running 30-day ROI of Link. What do you notice? Well, the running 30-day ROI shows that it's only a matter of time before the running 30-day ROI gives you a modest 2x. I mean, we had one here, and then a few months later in January 2019, and then again over here back in the summer of 2020, and then again right here, and then again in February, or January or February. So we've seen this 30-day ROI give us a modest 2x several times. So I think, you know, fairly systematic DCA into Link, and occasionally you'll see that 2x. Not a bad place to be. And occasionally it goes up even higher, right? This was a 4x in 30 days, 5.5x in 30 days. So again, this is why I really like Link. It's one of my favorite coins. This shows the 30-day and the 90-day ROI, running ROI, on a logarithmic scale. You can see the 90-day ROI has hit 4.5 here, hit around 7 up here, so maybe this is around 5. So what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is with Link, as we keep saying, time is on our side, right? It goes to these major areas of price discovery, and then the new money buys at the top, and then it comes back down, and the new money's the loudest because they're whining because they bought at the top, like kind of like the people who bought at $20 and then watch it go back down to $8. If you guys watch this channel, I was selling at $18.50 and rebuying at $7 and $8. And I know it's easy to say that in hindsight. We covered that on the channel, right? We covered that on the channel and definitely on the premium list. So you sort of see, you take a step back, you sort of see what happens, right? It goes into a major move and we come down for a while. And we sort of have these bunny hills en route to another major move. And then again, bunny hills en route to another major move. I think we're right now in bunny hills. Okay, I think we're in our bunny hill phase of the 90-day ROI of Link USD. This adds on the 365-day ROI. And what do you notice? Well, it's not hard for it to put in a 10 to 20x. And in fact, we're at that level right now of a modest 10 to 20x return in a year. So you see how great this metric is. I mean, yeah, there are times where you would have had a loss, but those who stuck with it, that were diligent, that were disciplined, did not get swayed by the short-term volatility to the downside, those were the winners. Those were ultimately the winners. This is our Link regression. The yellow line more or less just shows what you might consider to be the fair value. Again, I'm not going to argue with people over oh, well, hey, this guy's saying $10 Link is fair value. That's not what it means. It's basically just a fit to the data, and we've moved up relatively quickly. If we move back up into this red band, we did refit this, by the way, because we have a lot more data from when we were covering this last year. We can see that if we go back into this red sort of upper band up here, $100 Link is still theoretically possible, and it really wouldn't be putting in something that is completely unprecedented. This chart I love. Why do I love this chart? Well, my friends, this shows the normalized ROI of Link, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, and we can see that in terms of normalized from the beginning and where we currently are, the Link ROI has surpassed Ethereum's ROI at this same time. Now, we know Ethereum at this point is up a lot higher, but we're comparing it to Ethereum's bear market. You could say, well, that's not fair. You're comparing it to Ethereum's bear market. Well, Link was putting in major gains during another Ethereum bear market, or during this Ethereum bear market. And so, you know, It just is what it is, right? I mean, we go from the beginning. The other caveat is that Ethereum sort of dumped right after it launched, so it's, you know, we could shift this to be over here, and then it probably wouldn't have passed Ethereum's normalized ROI, but I don't really feel like manipulating the data at this point to do that. I mean, we might do it in the future just to see what it looks like. But regardless, if you just take from the very beginning for Link, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, show the normalized ROI, this is what you get. Look at Link, it's a champion. It's some of the cream of the crop. How can you complain about this? Yeah, I mean, look at it. Yeah, it's not putting in what Bitcoin did from when Bitcoin launched, but what coin has? Okay, what coin has? Everyone gives Bitcoin a hard time for putting in lower returns today. It's not a fair comparison. Compare it to what Bitcoin did back then, and then you'll understand why people are very pro Bitcoin. I mean, look at this. You guys know, the Link Marines know how great the returns have been on Link. At this point, for Bitcoin was up another two orders of magnitude. That shows you how explosive Bitcoin was. Okay, another 2 orders of magnitude at the same point after, you know, when you account for, say, the normalized ROI. This shows it on a log scale. Okay, so Link's doing great. One step at a time. I think we're in our bunny hill phase right now. Maybe we'll get to $40, maybe we'll get to $50. We would like to see Bitcoin volatility decisively calm down before I think we could see a $100 Link. Okay, so if we look at the Link USD valuation, we always want to know where's our 20-week moving average. This would be our support even in a bull market. It currently is at $20.48. The 21-day EMA is at $21.96. This is our bull market support band. This is what we rode for several months back from September of 2020 until January of 2021. We even had a wick down to it not too long ago. So keep this in mind. This is our bull market support band. Link could drop from the current valuation, could drop 30%, and by my accounting would still theoretically be in a bull market with respect to its USD valuation. Now, with respect to its Ethereum valuation, arguably it's in a bear market. Okay, we've seen Link perform very well against Ethereum in the past, spending most of its time above the 20-week moving average with respect to its Ethereum valuation. Right now it's below it. So the Link Ethereum valuation is in a bear market. This is why I'm not yet super bullish on Link in the short term. Okay, I mean, I think that it could go to $40. I think that it might even be able to go to $50. But in terms of putting in major gains against Bitcoin and against Ethereum, we can see that against Ethereum right now, it's in a bear market. And I think the reason is because Bitcoin volatility is still very high. Bitcoin is, you know, it keeps going. It's now at almost $57,000. When Bitcoin volatility is high, Link tends to bleed against Bitcoin. Okay, this is another one where it shows that for the most part, we've been above the 20-week moving average for the Link Bitcoin valuation, but since September, we've been below it, and we've been decreasing more or less since October of 2020, and this is since September of 2020, or October of 2020. So Link Bitcoin is in a bear market. Link Ethereum is in a bear market. Link USD is in a bull market. So until Bitcoin volatility calms down, and the Link Bitcoin valuation is able to decisively get above this band right here, I'm not super convinced that Link is immediately going to go to $100. Though I do think it's possible later this year. Okay, I do think it's possible later this year. And by the way, I would welcome it if it were to happen tomorrow, right? I'm not gonna be upset if Link goes to $100 tomorrow. I just want people to temper their expectations and say, you know what? Is a $40 Link possible soonish? Yeah, of course. Is a $50 Link? Maybe. Is a $100 Link? I would say we probably need to give it a few months. But again, at the end of the day, if it happens next month, so be it. I'm not gonna complain about that. Now, one of the things we've discussed before as well is if we sort of look at this on a linear scale, we sort of see that reversion to the mean, more or less. Okay, so we have our little bunny hills. We have a major move. We have come back down, a dead cat bounce. And then back to the despair, and then we're sort of reverting to the mean. This is what I think's going on. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about. That is not what I'm talking about. This is a different chart where I was showing my 2 most popular videos. I was talking about where we have our textbook link bubble. So let me find it. Okay, so let me quickly snip this. Okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. So you guys see it, right? You have takeoff, the first sell-off, media attention, enthusiasm, public greed, delusion, new paradigm, denial, bull trap, return to normal, fear, capitulation, and despair, return to the mean. So I think, I think that we saw this basically play out, right? We went into this major bull market against Link Bitcoin. We came back down, despair, and now we're sort of like just reverting to the mean. This is what I think is going on. This is why I don't think Link is about to have an immediate breakout against Bitcoin, but we might be slowly reverting to the mean. Let's take a look at where we are. So Link is at $30, almost $31. Okay, it's up 11% on the day, down 11% on the week, but it's still number 10, number 9 if you don't include stable coins, which would be this one right here. So my sort of speculation here is that it's not going to make a major move again until Bitcoin volatility calms down. And so I do think that Link can make another run at the top 5 potentially. I mean, obviously, I would say more, for sure, I feel like it can pass Litecoin. I feel like it can pass XRP. I feel like it will pass, obviously, the stablecoin Tether. Uniswap is looking pretty bullish. I do own Uniswap for full disclosure, but I do think it can pass that one as well. So I do think that it can make its way back into the top 5, but it is also contending with Binance Coin as well now that has moved up. So you guys know my top 5 coins are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. Link is the lowest one at the moment, but I'm hoping to see this one make a run up some of these rankings later on this year. So with that said, that'll wrap it up for the video. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and check out the Telegram channel in the description below. Why don't we go for 100? We've gained so many subscribers recently. Why don't we go for 250,000 subscribers? So definitely hit that subscribe button, share the video with a friend if you're trying to show them some data for Link. This channel is built around data, not built around anything else. So subscribe to the channel, check out the premium list. If you want to check out the altcoin season sale, you can lock in the lower rate. Thank you guys for tuning in. Turn on the alerts. We have a Telegram channel in the description below. Check it out. We need more Link Marines in there. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Bye.